December 16th, 2019, Joe here at Simple Life Show. I appreciate everybody for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, do that good sharing stuff, because that does really help get the rational voices out there in the forefront where they belong. So I would consider this a red alert, and it's a continuation of my previous story on the Virginia gun ban. They are continuing this saga forward, and Virginia Representative, let me see what his name is. The Representative Donald McKetchin, couldn't remember what his name was, but he has suggested the National Guard get involved in ripping away the guns from the citizens. And the reason why they're doing this is because the sheriff in that area is basically deputizing thousands of people in an effort to create sanctuaries for gun owners. And I could not agree more with this. This is something that, now, if you remember from my previous video, they are using Virginia as a test ground. They do this all the time. They use these small little test grounds, and this is just, this goes all the way back to marketing or any type of thing that you're trying to sell to the population. It's all marketing. This is, if the population, especially in Virginia, will go for this, then they'll start. Then other states will start complying as well. Remember, though, this is the same thing that happened with marijuana. Now, taking away someone's rights in marijuana is completely different, but the process of actually implementing stuff like this is the same, because if you can get this accepted in one area, then guess what? Other states are going to be like, hey, we can do this too. Virginia did it, so we'll start doing it. Then it starts spreading like a virus. All right, so a lot of the people in Virginia are starting to freak out, and this representative is basically saying that he is going to get the National Guard. He's already contacted the National Guard on multiple occasions, saying, "Hey, you're going to have our back. You're going to come here and help us take away guns from citizens." This is not a joke. This isn't from the Onion. This is happening right now. Everyone needs to wake up. Okay, they are coming for our guns. They are coming to disarm the American people. This is part of the communist plan that I laid out yesterday. If you haven't watched that video, there is 45 goals of the Communist Party that has been written down back in the 40s. And this is something that they have been working on for decades, and it is coming to fruition right now. You'll see a lot of people that want to talk about impeachment and talk about all this other politics kind of stuff, but this is happening right under your nose, and you're not paying attention anymore, and that's by design too. They want to keep the population all suppressed and depressed and entertained and all that kind of stuff. So you won't matter you won't care what's going on. Follow your team out there, your favorite team, your favorite NFL team, or your favorite NBA team, or your favorite college team, because that's what really matters in life, right? Not that your rights are actually being subverted every single day. This is what's happening. Richmond, Virginia. The Virginia National Guard has responded to Governor Ralph Northam, said that there would be consequences for law enforcement who didn't enforce new gun legislation. They said if we have constitutional laws on the books and law enforcement officers are not enforcing those laws on the books, number one, taking away people's Second Amendment is not constitutional. And the law enforcement do not have to follow unconstitutional laws, just as much the National Guard does not have to, because they are an arm of the military. So he continues, then there are going to be some consequences, and I'll cross that bridge if and when we get to it. A representative from Richmond then said the Virginia National Guard might have to get involved. And ultimately, I'm not the governor, but the governor may have to nationalize the National Guard to enforce the law. Now, if you remember, the president and governors have the authority to do this. They can nationalize the National Guard in times of emergency. I wouldn't consider this an emergency, though. Taking away people's guns is not only unconstitutional, it is not an emergency. You don't have law-abiding citizens going out there and just shooting people in the head. That would be an emergency. This would not qualify. Representative Donald McKetchin said that's his call, because I don't know how serious these counties are and how severe the violation of law will be. I can guarantee you this, they are very serious about their Second Amendment. I know that the sheriff out there is very serious about deputizing people. I know that he's serious about protecting the Constitution and people's right to defend themselves against would-be attackers. Okay, this is the foundation of our freedom. It's the freedom of speech and the freedom from bodily harm. If we lose one of those, everything else falls. If we can't speak out against the problems and the infiltration of this communist ideal, where they're taking away our religion, they're taking away your freedom of speech, they're taking away your guns, they're taking away your right to defend yourself, and everything else. And once those pillars are gone, everything else falls as a result. It doesn't matter what else is left that needs to fall, because they will all fall down in domino fashion. If you don't believe me, look at all these other countries that are socialist countries that have had to let this communist ideal in. Speak to some of the people who had to live through communism in Russia. Speak to those people. See what they have to say about it. Because when they came for the guns, then everything else was easy at that point, because people can't defend themselves. You can't take over a population that's armed. They know this. And they can't do something on a wide scale. Now, I'm sure that Trump will probably, he will probably actually step in to stop this. At least I hope so. Maybe they're waiting to see what's going to happen in the election. Maybe they're waiting to see who's actually going to be the president, because if someone like Bernie Sanders or God forbid someone like Elizabeth Warren gets elected, then everything's going to be a slippery slope. It's just going to the floodgates will open on I'm losing my words now. I'm so frustrated. But the floodgates will open on the freedoms that we have, and them, they're just taking them all away. Excuse me, I am so sorry. I just can't think right now, because I saw this and I was like, this really needs to get out. People really need to understand what's going on. People in Virginia are freaking out. And there is a video here that I came across here. It was from Newsweek. It was just a few days ago on the 13th. And this was from the Gun Owners Caucus. And they're pretty mad about this. And I want to play this clip here. It's only 30 seconds, but he's pretty direct on what he wants to do if this goes forward. So I'll play that for you.
Some days, you feel like the frog in the boiling water. Just exactly how long are they going to just keep notching it up a degree here and a degree here and a degree here until you've had enough? That line is for each of us to decide, each on our own terms. There you go. There's a lot of us in this room that have had enough, and it's time to start riding herd on the rest of these people that want to take your rights away from you. They will not go quietly into the good night. They need to be kicked to the curb and stomped on and run over a few times.
So yeah, that was pretty blunt, right? But I think that we have entered a time in our history. Antifa's out there fighting for the communist ideal, right? So what are we going to do? Are we going to just sit back and let them take all of our rights? Are the people of Virginia are going to be the decision makers? Okay? This is another revolution that's starting, okay? And the people on the left believe that they're fighting for their own revolution, but we are fighting for our own as well, because it's been far too long that our voices have not been heard. Now, they were heard very loudly in November of 2016, and they will be heard again in November of 2020. They do not want this to happen. What Trump has really stopped is the global order that the elites and the communist left has been propagating up in this society for decades. They have been getting stronger and stronger while we have been sitting on our asses doing nothing. It is time to wake up, people. Okay, you've heard that over and over. Get woke. Get woken up. Just wake up. No. The alarm's been going off for a long time, and now we are seeing the repercussions of staying asleep for so long. So the people of Virginia, I pray for you. I really do. I really hope that this doesn't go through and doesn't actually happen. But I think there's a real chance it will. I think there's a real chance, especially that the sheriff there and those who are fighting for the Second Amendment will not take this line down, and it might get bloody. They might actually call the National Guard in. The National Guard might have to fire on U.S. citizens, and if that happens, I guarantee you there will be a civil war. This is serious. This is not something to be messed around or trifled with. People are more willing to lay down their lives for their constitutional rights than you give them credit for. And this is not a call to violence, but this is a call to actually wake up and look at what might actually happen here pretty soon. I don't know what else to say about this. I know that there's a lot of good patriots out there. I know there's a lot of good people out there that are looking at this, just shaking their head and wondering what is going to happen. What's going to happen the next day? Are they going to really start taking away our rights? Is Trump really going to do anything, or is he just a plant? I haven't heard Trump say anything about this. Now, I know that he's going through his own stuff right now, but he was chosen by the electorate to lead this nation. And if he allows something like this to go forward, if he allows the National Guard to get involved, then there's going to be problems for Trump. There are a lot of people will be looking at that as Trump turning his back on constitutional loving patriots. I don't think he's going to turn his back. I think he's going to get involved. I think he's going to do the right thing. I pray he does. I think that we really need to start reflecting on what it means to be an American, what it means to live under a constitution and a republic instead of this democracy, this pure democracy everybody wants, or this socialism that leads right into communism that everybody is seething for. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's the most immoral type of way of governing people in general. And a lot of people just don't understand that. But you also have to understand, before they can institute a lot of this stuff, guess what? They have to disarm people. And they have to do it for the children, right? Because the children are at harm. They're in harm's way, so we have to give up all our rights for the children. This was played out in many other societies. This was played out in Nazi Germany. This was played out in the Russia. This was played out in any other totalitarian dictatorship. People are willing to lay down their rights and all this other kind of stuff in the name of safety, the security for freedom. Well, not so much freedom, but for the security of the children. Well, parents are willing to do whatever they, and they know that it's all a psychological ploy. So you need to stay on top of these types of stories. You need to stay woke. In other words, who cares about what's going on at Hallmark about the gay weddings and stuff like that? People are freaking out over that. That's stupid. Just stop. This is what you need to. If you're going to worry and if you're going to be afraid about something, be afraid about all the rights being taken away from you. Because once your rights are taken away, it doesn't matter what's on TV. It doesn't. You won't have time to be offended at anything. Until next time, this is Joe with Simple Life Show. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.